So I'm going to start is what we discussed last time, then we will proceed further. So we discussed last time the cost center, and we have concluded our basic structures or the Workday structure as well. Now we have started our financial structure, and the financial structure we discussed already that holds that these financial statements, and these financial statements basically based on these five account type, that is asset, liabilities, and capital, expense, and revenue. And now we have started to discuss these assets first. So in assets, we discuss the assets to have two types. One is the current asset and fixed assets. Then we assign some identifiers. Identifiers are basically helpful for us for multiple perspective. One is that basically that is streamline our accounts, number one. Secondly, that will ease our life with respect of preparing the reports, as well as to prepare the budgets, to prepare the financial summaries that is there. So basically that to make it easy. So that's why we categorized our asset into multiple identifiers, and that identifiers we have assigned 1000 to 199, that would be our assets. So any question with respect of assets you can ask, otherwise we will start at our liability area. So this is our first account, right? Now we are going to discuss the second one. Any question on the assets? No? Okay. So one more thing that I would highlight, that the tenant has been available. So I'm expecting that you conclude our or complete our structures. Okay. So please make sure that you completed the overall structure that we have defined, the same way that you have to do it in for yourself as well. Okay. So in this is assignment, and that assignment that we will verify in our. So you have 3 to 4 days now or 5 days now to complete your assignments. Okay. So let's talk about the liabilities. What is the liabilities? Anyone?
That's something personal loans or from banks or
Loan, that's something personal. So basically, you are giving me
all
the
debts, right?
debts as well. You are giving me the asking the definition. What we call it a liability.
Liability is
Yes, go ahead.
something where you're liable to customer to provide the service wherein you receive the cash payment from the customer.
Okay, for the business perspective, liabilities, that means that you owe something, okay, and then you are liable to pay. Okay, so meaning that it can be a loan, it can be a debt, it can be any liability that you wanted to pay. So that you owe something from the business perspective. I'm talking about business perspective. So your business owe something from anywhere like a bank loan, like personal loan, like debt, or whatever it would be. So that you are liable to pay, or you any commitment that you made it. That is
salaries or accounts payables, right?
yes, accounts payable as well. So all the outstanding, and another one is outstanding. All the accruals, all the debts, all the loans that you owe something from any person or any bank, business, from anyone, that is called liabilities. Okay. So business perspective, as I said, that you are paying to liability. So in the account perspective, that liabilities are two types. What are those types? Anyone guess or anyone know?
Contract liability.
No, that is from the financial perspective, financial management perspective. Contract liability, again, it's not the type, it's a example, or you can say it's a value. So there are two types. One is called short-term liability,
Short term and long term.
long-term. What is the difference between short-term and liabilities, or what is the short-term or what is the long-term? Short-term liabilities means, in the financial perspective, if business has to pay any liability within a year, it's called a short-term liability. But if it is beyond 1 year, that is called long-term liability. So short-term liability, like you take some loan, a bank loan that you wanted to pay within 1 or 2 months or within that 1 year time, that is there. Accounts payables is there. Okay, that is another liability. And then interest payable is there. This is another liability that you haven't paid your bank interest since last 2 months. So you have to pay three within the 3 months. Otherwise, bank suspended your credit transactions. Example. So that is called short-term liability. Whereas the long-term liabilities are in the bank loan, that you take a bank loan or car loan from the bank for 2 years, 3 years, or a long time, for a long time period. Okay. And some more long-term liability, you take a personal loan.
Home loan.
Yeah, home loan. So normally all the liabilities take more than 1 year in the financial term.
machinery and
Yeah. So that is your long-term liability and short-term liability. Now, when we talk about the identifiers, here the main liabilities, the main head, we say that is started with 2000 and 2999. So any identifier that started with two, that means that is liability. So if your clerk or your accountant says that our account is 2111, so it means that two started with the liability, so that would be a liability account. So we can say that short term is started with 2001 to 2499, and long term liability is 2500 to 2999. Similarly, I will assign this within this range. I will assign short term, so it is 2020, 2040, and 2060. Here I would say that that is 2511, 2522, and 2544. So why I am taking this different, meaning that you can design this coding structure identifiers as per your business requirement. There is no hard and fast rule. So this is my liability section. Okay, clear? Any question on the liability? Okay, great. So highlighted here this one as well. The same way, that will give me a clear picture. Why? Okay, now coming towards the capital. So everyone knows what is a capital mean. Capital or equity. Same term. What is a equity? What is capital? And that range is that would be 3000 to 3999. Now capital is basically is another form of liability, but that you introduce to the business to start or introduce to the business or to start the business. That is my capital. For example, I started my business with $100,000. So $100,000 for the business is capital, and that basically for the business perspective, that is a liability that business will pay to me. So business is basically a separate entity. So that entity perspective, whatever the transaction that you will perform, you have to think about from the business side, not from the as an owner. Okay. So for the business perspective, equity is the amount that you invested or you basically pay to the business, and for the business, that is your capital or equity, and that is your liability. So that basically comes under the head of liability, but we take it separately because capital can be introduced by individual or through a share capital. That is another way, or that can be introduced in the shape of loan as well. You take a bank loan into your, okay. So that is equity, capital, share capital, or that is your, that's called equity. So here I would take here to 3000, 3001. So capital is my head, and I will take here 3000, and this is my capital. And there is another word used, or that another account used with the capital, that is called, we will discuss this term, but I'm writing here right now, retain earning. That is 3100. What is that retain earning? We will discuss. Okay. So this is my capital. Any question on the capital? Okay. Then we have revenue. Now revenue is, what is the revenue?
It's the gross income of the company.
Gross income or net income, whatever you will earn.
Yeah.
Earning of your company or the business is your revenue. Okay. So that earning is basically can be your earning, can be your from your sales or sales account, or can be your interest received, or you will take the amount in shape of profit, or you can say that is the part of it. So sales is there. So now if I identify, that is to 4000 to 4999, and here I would go 4010 and 4200. That is my interest income. Discount received is another one. You give you purchase something and you receive a discount, that is your revenue as well. So 4310, that is my identifier. So this is my revenue side. Simple. Expenses. Expenses are, any question on the revenue?
When you say sales, interest received, and discount, it's in terms of this company that you are defining here, or is it in general that Workday has
It's
only
in
these definitions?
whatever the transaction or whatever that we will discuss. We will discuss the points with respect of business entity. Like my company is TX Group or TX Space. So for my company, not in general, for my company, whatever I will receive the amount, that is my revenue. Okay. So revenue, another one word is income as well.
But if let's say if I have a service, can service be treated as a revenue?
Yes, you have given the services and you receive that amount, that is your revenue. Okay. So
I mean, here you only marked as sales. So
yeah, sales can be service sales or good sales, both sales. That
given a
means
simple example, let's say you're buying a laptop, and I'm buying extended warranty. So laptop is like sale.
I will buy a laptop. We will take this example in a while. Buy a laptop. Then I will explain you from all aspects, from all of these five accounts, that how it would be. Okay. Just hold on for a while, and we will discuss this point. Okay.
So Mary, expenditures will be coming where in the capital?
Expenditures are coming in shape of whenever you sell something, there is certain expenses. When you perform any activity within the business, or you utilize a business office, utilities bills. So expenses are basically two types of nature.
The cost
One
involved
is
in that.
called administrative expense and operation expenses. Administrative expenses are those that you are maintaining.
Our bills in
Yeah,
the company.
your utilities bills are there, salaries are there, wages are there, utilities bills are there. So these are my expenses.
Building equipments and everything. Okay.
Yeah. So that is my expenses. So here some purchase, stationery,
transportations.
transportation. So these are all my administrative expense. Operation expense are
The
those.
office laptops will be coming under administrative expenses, right? The office
I will,
laptops.
yeah, I will
This.
cover this one. This by laptop. We will discuss this point because there
Okay.
are different points here that we need to discuss it. So salaries, wages, utility bills, purchasing, operation expenses can be your rent because you are using some premises to manufacture certain products for your plant that you is paying rent. Okay, some uh,
Maintenance.
maintenance expenses is there. Okay, so those expenses are basically two type of nature: administrative and operation. So five is my started with 5,000 and 5,999. If I want to segregate with my reports with respect to two areas, then I can have this way similarly, that 5,499 and 5,550, that is 5,999. And here I would say that that is 5,001, 5,020, 5,070, 5,200, that is 55,555, and 55,75. So that is basically what we did. That completed our expense, the five types that we have it. Now these basically is my charts of account. So these charts of account basically build it for any implementation, either it's Workday, either any application. So that has been considerable that your charts of account should be completed or should be flexible enough that any value come into my charts account, that should be adjusted. And for the reporting perspective, it should be accurate. Here you can see that we have designed 4, 5, we have 3, 2, 1. That is my overall charts of account structure coding. Clear?
Maybe just a question on the revenue, right? Just like you have the expenses, can we have accounts receivable for the money that's received from the customers? Just like you have
Account receivable is your assets, current
okay.
assets. Okay. So whatever the amount that is been receivable, not yet received, that comes under asset, not the revenue. But once you will receive it, Okay, so that is basically your sales. We will discuss this in our detailed way in our AR modules. That is coming. AR, account receivables, customer invoices. We will discuss this point. Okay. Any doubt for any point? So your assignment or your task is here for the next day is that you have to build up your charts of account, and also you have to view if you want to take a complete picture. We discussed that there are 5 reports or 4 reports basically: balance sheet, statement, and income statement. These two statements, income statement and balance sheet, will give you all of the point here for your 5 account type. Okay. So this is called my charts of account. Now, how to define these charts of account into my system that we can see. So STC that is there.
One quick question. Yeah, if you are in any company, usually in Oracle ERP, the SAP ERP, they are using it earlier. They already have the structure, right? The identifiers and everything is there, right? So we will recreate on the Workday side, or we'll make a new identifiers and new structure or any changes or anything like that.
Okay. We discussed this point that if this charts of account structure, when we discussed last day, we said that if charts of accounts is already exist, then you will recheck or revisit the whole chart of account, that either that is in a proper shape, meaning that proper coding, proper identified with relevant heads. If it is there, then you don't need to define it or you don't need to create another one. You can take that charts of account from the old system and then define it in there. But yes, if you find any gap in between, then you can identify. For example, in the old charts of account, they identified that vehicle account is, for example, that is 1,2,222. Now 1,222 we have assign in between this range. Okay, so that is mismatch because this is a fixed asset, but account is used within the current asset. So you can suggest it to the company that this account that identifier in my and on my experience, that should become under 1 1 after 1 5, that we have it. This one 1 5 1,520, that should be. So if it is a proper way that has been designed in a proper shape, then you don't need to design and you don't need to reinvent it. It's already been there. But yes, for example, this has been identified by your client or by your within your analysis that the coding structure is a 4 code and they are already exhausted. Exhausted mean all the codes has been used. There are rarely few codes has been left. So you can suggest that because we are defining or we are creating a new setup in our business, then we can extend our number of digits. So if it's a 4 digits, now we can suggest them you can take 6 digits for to complete your future requirement. 6 digit means that 10 we can extend or append 20 in this coding structure automatically. That will in future the new code will come in, then you can add up here. So from 4 to 6 that you can suggest and then you can modify as per your business requirement. Okay, it is not hard and fast rule that you have to take 4 codes. It can be 6, it can be 5, it can be 3 as per the business requirement, or it can be a combination of alphanumeric, like A for asset is 1010, and here A1511, and liability is for L, it's 12020.
We can do that, but they are the unique identifiers. So when you are loading the data from the sources, it's gonna be a problem, right? If you are dividing now the 6 digit and you're doing the new identifier. No.
Okay, no, that is the system will not restrict you to create up to have any problem. But yes, from the old system to new system, there is a gap. Now this gap that would be how you can map it. Mapping basically to have the archive data, because the new data is having a 6 code. So nomenclature, this called nomenclature, can be varies business to business. Any company, a different one is using A1010. Other company is using 6 digit. My company, I'm using for 4 digits, and you can use it in a different way. Some use, I have seen those charts of account as well. they use a word C for all the codes. Either it's a 125 12340, they use it 10 C1010 C1511. C is their company, started with their company alpha. So here, if I'm using this one, I can use TX1010. This is the code that I can have. But TX doesn't add any value. Rather, I can use only
Can we keep
alpha.
two, like, for example, two identifier? One identifier is with the old system, how it is represented as a or TX with number, and the new identifier which you are creating on the workday with a 6-digit 100 100, like that.
No,
Because I
okay,
want a 6-digit, I don't want to keep it a 4-digit. But for
okay.
me, the mapping back to the old system, I need that 4-digit identifier.
Okay, mapping, basically mapping, why you need a mapping here? Mapping means that you want to archive all, okay?
Yeah. So when how do you load I'm an SAP ERP system. I'm working on Oracle ERP. Workday ERP. So how do you load the data? You are creating a skeleton here, framework we are creating it. But loading the data, we need somewhere the other way. We need to figure it out, right? How we want to
Okay,
map it.
okay, let me answer the question.
Maybe gap is there for me, but yeah, later on might
No,
understand.
that's okay, that's okay. No problem, no problem. You have a valid question that how I will load it this data where I have now 6 digit, but earlier we have a 4 digit. Point is that it's a new system and new codes. So obviously you will use new coding structure, not old coding structure. For example, you have a current cash balance is 2 million. Okay. So the new code is 101000 that I will load it with this combination. I will not use this 1010 here. Why is it so? Because we have a new system, a new structure that would be. But if you want to archive any data, then you can use the old system. And because normally what happen in any business, whenever they shift any system, they will not obsolete the old one. They basically retain the previous system for 6 months or next 1 year, so that whenever any change happen or they wanted to check or go back to previous system, they can review it as well. But for the new system, it would be a new structure, a new coding that we will map it and then we will migrate it, not
Okay,
with the
got it.
old one. But
But you
yes,
keep the old one for some time. Might other applications might be using it. Yeah.
yes, that is there. That's I already highlighted. For next 1 year, I will keep Oracle intact so that for the old data that you have it in Oracle, you can view it or you can check your old financials reports from there. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a question. So
Yeah, Murali.
I get your point. You're saying that you maintain the old system and then from there you can maintain that mapping between old versus the new, right? Is there any way that you can somewhere some additional attribute or some other field that captures, okay, this is the reference for the old one, something like that on the new?
Okay, well, right now Workday didn't provide any extra field in your charts of account to create this mapping that this is my old one and this is a new one. Okay. Yeah, but if you talk about Oracle, if you talk about they have the privileges that you can maintain these things. But there is another way that you can maintain in Workday to get the idea that you can use those field in Workday, especially into your transaction. That's called work tag. How we can use it, we will discuss. We have a dedicated one session. We will discuss this work tag in a very detailed way. So that I can use a work tag to maintain this old code as well, so that whenever a transaction happen for the new code, that the work tag will appear up with the old code. Okay.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Okay.
Just
Maddie,
a quick advice. I mean, Maddie, actually, so there is assets, right? If you go back a little bit, go up. So because there are two assets, one is a fixed and another one is actually current assets. Right? Can I give this identifier as CA 1010? If it is a fixed asset, can I give FA 1510 so
Yeah.
that I can differentiate by saying the identifier? Yes, this is belongs to current assets, because since we have only two different assets, so is that okay?
Yeah. It's your basically, as I mentioned earlier, there is
Right.
coding is not the hard and fast rule that you maintain for any company, but company once accept any coding that is basically will last long till the end of uh, end of the company. Basically, if they want to extend their coding structure, that they can. But normally, what happened, this coding structure basically helped them out to build up their financial reports and the financial transaction. If you want to place CA and then here place it FA, that is no problem. System will not restrict you that you have a wrong coding structure. No, system will accept it. But that is basically how you maintain your system, your charts of account for this new company. It should be a proper logical way. Like if you are giving CA and FA, what purpose you will achieve? Only purpose to identify. So already I said that one is equal to asset. So this is easy to remember. Rather, I would remember that CA for current asset and FA for the fixed asset. Asset mean assets, so that can be segregated 1 5 or 1 0 combination that we have it. But yes, that is another way that if you feel the client feels that or suggests that we need to use this FA or CA or an FA with the alphanumeric combination, that yes, you can go with that.
Okay.
System will not restrict.
It has to be separate discussion with them. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So that
Maddie, if that already structured in there, which report we have to pull for to see that? So what is the structure of finance?
so I already we have these two reports I have already highlighted. Balance sheet. This is the one report, and second one is income statement. This is another report. Balance sheet give you the asset, liabilities, and capital, and whereas income statement will give you in expense and revenue. For example, if I open up here, Google it, any balance sheet, you can view it by yourself as well. So here there is a few example of balance sheet. Let me take here images, and this one is, let me open up this one. So here you can see that assets, non-current asset means fixed asset, current assets is there. So inventories, receivable, cash. Liabilities give me liabilities, account received, payable, short-term debt. Borrowed money is a long-term liabilities. Equity is the capital. Share capital, retained earning, we have used these words in our charts of account as well. And total shareholders funds, that is there. So
No, that's
liabilities.
okay, Maddie. What my question is like, this is the general structure, that's I know, but particular with codes, like if there is a transactions made under that, then only it show up in the balance sheet. But if like say we have a 10 of liabilities, but there is no transactions, nothing over there, but still want to see that's the codes, what the codes for that, and that's
Okay. Okay. In system, you are talking about in system.
in Workday, yeah, not in the journal.
Yeah. We are going to define the structure and then how we can view it. We will see in a while. Okay. So
Okay.
let's jump into the system now. We have log in the system. Now in Workday, let's talk about what the Workday perspective, the first structure. In Workday, charts of account is been maintained under the word called account set. Account set. What is the meaning of account set? Is basically different. It's basically placement of your charts of account. So whenever you have to define your charts of account, you have to create one account set. Create account sets. So here you have to name your account sets. Now account sets like my company TX account set. Now this account set is a charts of account. Yes, it is. And if there are multiple account set, your charts of account exists in the system, then you can club those charts of account into your system as well. For example, like corporate, master. So it means that there are two charts of account or two account set will be used in my this account sets. Normally it is one-to-one combination. So if I want to use my corporate, which is already defined, then I can use this corporate for my account set as well. Else it's my discretion or my decision that I want to use my own account set. Don't want to use any other account set. So that is there. So here on the header, you will set up the charts of account name. And here now we are going to define our account sets that we have. Design it here this way. So if I go back, then first identifier. So first identifier is my top at the top is assets. So assets is 1000. That name is assets. Ledger account type is my assets. So here you can see all the five: asset, liability, equity, income, expense. Statistics is there. We will discuss statistics separately, but that cannot come under the account type, but that take it separately, you can maintain under account type. So here that is there. Now you wanted to restrict your account set with your company, then I can use it here, TX US company. Now nobody can use now this identifier for their company because I made it restriction. Okay. Now the second one is cash. That is 1010, 1020 is bank, and account receivable 1030. So let's define this one. So 1010 is my cash, and here I have assets again. And now I don't want to restrict it. I want to use for all the companies. I have 3 or 4 companies. I want to use same accounts for all of them. Third one is 1020. That is bank asset. That's it. And 1030. Here I would use here, for example, it's my current asset, CA 1030. System will not restrict me. It's an open text field, or that's called character field. So here I have account receivable. So that is my assets. So here you can see, but the combination here nomenclature is different. So as I said earlier, that should be in a proper manner. So here 1030, that is there. So I can change it 30. Now, for example, now I just define it here. Now here, if I go down, I define plant 1510, again add it 1510, plant 1 or plant A, that is my assets. Here I just add up here one more. If I use this here, I can directly define liabilities. Now 2000 is for my liabilities and 2020 is for my loan. 2000 is for my liabilities, that is liability, and 2020 is my loan. Here again, I'm going to add the assets. System will not restrict me as well. 1510 is my, okay, one. Here you can see system will give me error if it has already been assigned.
It's duplicate.
1510 is already there. So it is a control here that one code never be assigned to multiple account names. So you have to be, this code should be unique. So that is plant 3. The point is that system also not restrict you that you are defining liability and then you are switching to assets. But once I will save it, system automatically take it into ascending order. You can see that is in between. Now it has been 1510 is at the top, and the account set that has been there, and my assets and assets name that has been syncing up with the assets and liability feature. Now, if, for example, if I added this one, if this is what that I have, I want to add it and then add it here. Okay, this is, sorry, I had it added. Now I want to add it here. Now this is a new window because account is already defined. Now you can define whenever it would be. So it will be pop up a new window where you will mention your identifier. Now I'm going to define my capital. Capital is 3000 and 3010 is revenue. So here 3000 is my capital slash equity. So account type is my equity, and do another 10, that is retain earning, and that is my come under equity. Do another. Now here I have left a few of them so I can define it here. Vehicle, building, and laptop. Okay. So here I would identify is, I cannot think it here. Yeah, this way is better. So 1530 is three. Go ahead.
Is there any way that we can import this Excel sheet with multiple values rather than entering 100 number? If there is any, do we have any other option? That option? Okay.
Yeah, we will discuss this point in our session that's called EIB.
EIB.
EIB, yes.
Okay.
That is integration part. That's how you can upload the bulk of data, or how to upload the archive data into your new system, into your Workday, basically.
Okay, that's where actually we can import from other systems, SAP or Oracle systems. Any data. Okay. Got it.
Yes. So that is account payable. So here that is liability. You have to be here careful that if you use a code which is, for example, I'm here placing 2060, and that is my interest payable, and I use assets, system will also not restrict you because it's your decision that this account is related to which area. So you have to be very careful. This is your liability account that started with 2. Okay, so now few of expenses that revenue and expenses, I will define it for my system as well. That is sales 4010. Sales is there, that is my income. To another, then we have salary, that is 5001, that is my expense. And here the rent I have it, that is my rent is code is top 50.5, that is rent, and that is expense. To another, and then we have these bill, that is my sorry again code should be, that is 507. Now what I'm doing right now, I have added all the expenses, or some of the expenses, not all, some of the expenses, and that is my completed now done. All right, give me one more here. Like for example, wages 5020, wages expense, that I'm done it. That has been completed now. So this is completed now. Here you can see that is uneven. So again, you will save it. You will go back. If I go back here in Workday, if I search it again, it take you in a proper systematic way. Expense, income, and revenue, that is there. Now this has been wrong. Here you can see laptop at the top on the identifier, and the code is in the name. So I have to change it, this one, because that is incorrect. So on the this button, whenever you scroll it, so again for the newcomers, whenever you scroll this here the button will appear. It's gone when you hover your cursor on this point, that is appear up. If you remove it, that's gone. It's called a related action button. Okay, so go to the related action button, meaning that you are going to perform any action here for this area. So that is added and not a custom object. Let me additional data. Okay, so here I want to add it this one, not this way. So here I will add it from this one, additional sets and addition, add it. So here I will go down and I will find my value. Okay, if there is a lot of value and if you want to search it, so on the top header, you can click over here and you can filter your value. So here I have seen that is laptop is there. But that is incorrect. So I would here change it to 1540, and this is the name. Now it is in proper format. Okay. And if you want to, you can see that this is a icon appear up here, blue, just like a tornado. So it means that it's been filter has been placed. So here you can see that you can remove the filter now. So it shows you all of your, now it shows me in a proper systematic way. Now the assets is there on this point. If you will search it, come back again, system will automatically adjust it. So here you can see that 1540 now under asset area. Okay, so this is what called you have built it up your charts. Okay, so this is one that whenever you have implementation, you have to define your account set. But as this is a test environment, so Workday already maintain one account set already, which hold all of these values. That I have a task called view account set. And here I would search my account set as well, which is a pair as TX account set. But if you want to look into the Workday, that is here the corporate. So here the corporate holds that has been used here for 60 companies and having 179 values. And here they have used the same combination, almost the same that we have defined earlier, the 4-digit codes. So you can use the existing one because there's option here. But whenever if it is a new one, then you have to define your new structure. Okay, if any value here, this is a corporate, and here the related action button, and this is another button that has been appeared up. That's called change selection. If I want to change the selection to go back to my previous selection, that is my TX account set, I can click over here. It will pop up the previous window, and then I can view my account set as well. I have changed the value. So this is for TX account sets. Okay. So this is what called charts of account that we define in the system. Any question? Okay. Okay. The question that someone asked, I think Anita or someone, if we can maintain a previous log. So here we can maintain here. I suggest that we can maintain through work tag, but we can maintain on the charts of account as well. this new old value or the new value. Consider this is my new old value now. This is an old one and this is a new one, new code. So here in the system, we have option. If you go to the related action button here, additional data, and you can add the additional data here. But here you need to define a custom object. What is a custom object? That you can add up here the custom object. What does that mean? We will discuss in our upcoming session. Okay. But for the time being, that you can maintain the charts of account that is there, and the charts of account should have in a proper format that we discussed. Any question on the charts of account? Otherwise, we will move on to our next topic, that is the currency and the calendar. No question? So I think you can build up your charts of account now. So we have, okay. So we have the second point is that is my currency. So what is a currency? Yes, anyone? That is very simple.
It's value, right? It's a monetary value in the financial.
Monetary value. Monetary representative. So here the currency for my company, here my company is TX USA, X space USA company is there. I have COA. Now my currency basically decided in a monetary that whenever any transactions, like we have just mentioned a transaction, buy a laptop. So this is my transaction. Now, in which currency that we want to represent or we want to show this transaction into my company, that is called the currency that we will use for our financial structure. Now, currency have two types from business or finance perspective. What are the two types? Anyone knows or any idea?
It's base and foreign currency.
Yes. Yes. It's two currency. It's called base as well. Base currency. It's also called functional currency. It's also called my business currency. So all the terms used for the business are the same, meaning that this transaction, whatever transaction will appear up, in which currency you will record it, that is your base currency. And you have to decide it here at the time of defining the financial structure. My base currency is USD because company here, my company transaction is registered in USA, so that is USD. But is it can we do that? That my company is registered in USA, but I can use GBP? Question. Because my company is registered in USA, charts of account in USA, currency should be in USD. That's okay. But is it possible, or is it the way that we can use it in GBP or assign my company currency? Is this a yeah? What?
No, if you have a branch in another country, then you can use JBP. Not, but if you have the office in US within
No,
US, you have to use only USD.
Okay, I have a branch in UK. I have GBP. Okay, and here's the USA. That is it.
Right.
Okay, now I'm going to open up my branches in UK. But when I open up my company in the UK, then I can use USD.
Yes, you can use.
But my company is in UK. I registered in company in US, not USA.
Or not registered in
Yes.
USA.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, if you have a company in USA and if you are registered one more as a company in UK, then I think so. Yes, as a foreign transaction, you can use USD.
For not foreign transaction, as I didn't related any foreign. It is my base or functional currency. For my company right now, I just open up my company in UK, and that is I have to decide it is company currency, so I can use it USD or not.
Not for reporting. Maybe you can use the currency. Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about any reporting currency or any foreign currency. It's just my business currency or my functional currency is USD. So you said no. But the point is, let me explain this point. Now, as per the company or the country law, if you are registered any company, so it's a company will decide it that you can perform the transaction here in my country, and you registered, that would be your currency would be your local currency. So if you are in UK, that would be GBP. But for the business perspective, I can assign if company law also, for example, your country law doesn't have any restriction, so you can use a USD as well. But problem is that, for example, you have a business of laptop, okay, and you have a distributor shop in a mega mall, and whenever a customer come up, a UK customer will come up into your counter and say that I want to purchase this laptop, and you will say that and they will say that okay, fine, what is the price in pound? then you say that we're not accepting the pound, we just accepted USD. So point is that that would be a challenge for you at that moment. Although system will allow me, although the country will allow me to accept the USD there, but that create a problem for that you can lose your customer. That's why it is preferred to have a currency that belongs to the country so that the transaction happens smoothly. But yes, for that currency, for that country, for example, I'm in the USA, but if I have GBP, a customer come up with the from UK and he said that I don't have a USD, so I would accept the GBP here. But that currency for my business would be a foreign currency. So meaning that I accepted both currencies. One currency, this is my base currency, and all the reports that we will have it in our my local currency. But if that would be other transaction that would be happened in another currency, that would be a foreign currency. So for my company, any currency other than USD in the USA would be my foreign currency. Either it's a yen, either it's GBP, either it's Australian dollar, either it's Canadian dollar. So all the currencies are my foreign currency. So that is a currency concept. So when we define our, if you remember, if I go back, if I view my company, and here this is USA. So here the details, and in the details you can see that we selected one company currency that is already there. So
This
when we
is called
define
base.
this is called base currency. So when you define your company, you have to decide it on that moment what would be your base currency for this company. Okay. So if I go back and here I would search for my, it's a US. Okay, this is for GBP. So 3X Twitter company that we have it, that is for GBP. So here, let me change it, the name, company, add it, and here add it name and code. This one, so that it would be easy for me to access it here UK. So that would be my UK. Okay, we will see this, find out how it would be, what are the transactions that we can make it. Now this company is UK, so it's a GBP, but for the other company that is for USD. So when you define the company again, it would be you decided your currency, that what is your currency that you are going to define for my, okay, any question. So my discover it up my, we already defined this currency, so we don't need to define it. It's already there. So that's already been set it up. Now the third point is my calendar. What is calendar?
Year-end?
Physical
Year end.
schedule.
Yes, fiscal schedule we call it in the Workday. Yes, you're right. So anyone knows what are the types of calendars?
One is a standard one, standard calendar.
Okay, another one. Mute yourself if you're not speaking. So the other calendar is my fiscal calendar. In finance, we define in a two-way. One is standard, one is fiscal. Standard calendar or simple calendar is basically started from Jan and end with December. Fiscal is basically started from June and with July. So this is a major difference. But in Workday, all the calendar they name it as a fiscal schedule. Okay. In Workday, we call fiscal schedules. Not the word name calendar, we name FS. FS is fiscal schedule. So for my company, I wanted to, my company is basically calendar. By the way, why we define the calendar or why we define the fiscal schedule? Any input from this point?
Maybe
Why
for
we
the
define
reporting. For the reporting.
Yeah, one way is the reporting. Any other way? Why we need to have?
Financial year, maybe.
Yeah, the first and foremost is that the recording of transaction. Obviously, recording would be on a specified period, like monthly basis. This month is Feb. I wanted to check. I want 12th of Feb. I purchased a laptop. So the date of the transaction basically helped me to identify that which period, which date that we have it. And obviously, once you will complete the transaction, you can take the reporting. This is another one, another point, that recording the transaction and then reporting of the transaction, you use the calendar to identify that. For example, if there is no calendar, then you will not identify that purchases laptop on which date, at what time period, and what is the depreciation of it. So this is create a problem for me. So that's why calendar is mandatory to get the reporting, to analyze your data. Last month profit was, this month is low. What are the reasons? So this is basically help me to take a proper reporting. So in Workday, we have create fiscal schedules. So the fiscal schedule name, that is my T fiscal schedule. To populate fiscal periods, meaning that for the first period I will define, rest of the period system automatically populates, so it's there. So that fiscal schedule is done. Is it now it is very simple one step, but here there are other areas that you need to be defined, and that areas are basically the calendar. That would be here. You can see this period, that June to July or Jan to December, like Jan, Feb, or till December, that in Workday called intervals. In Oracle we call period, in SAP we call periods, but here we call intervals. So that how to define the intervals. So here on the related action button, if I click over here, from directly I can take to create the interval. So here you can see that maintain in the first option fiscal schedule, and then maintain posting intervals. Now you have to be very careful here, because defining the interval means that you are defining the period as per your business requirement. So for example, my first interval is Jan, but if there is any quarter, if you want to have a quarter Q1, that would be the second period, that is the first period. So it depends. Your interval would be monthly basis, weekly basis, quarterly basis, or half yearly basis. It is not for reporting, it is for your routine transaction or day-to-day transactions. So normally 99% businesses use monthly period, but you have to be very careful here. All the months should be accurately defined. If you missed anything and you forgot anything and you save it, then you identify that there is a month. For example, here I place in March. I forgot to enter the Fab. System will not allow you to enter the period in the fiscal schedule. So what you have to do, you have to create a new fiscal schedule. So the first term definition should be very careful. So here we have April, May, June. Okay, now August here, and then July. This is again wrong, meaning that after June we have July. So if it is there, then you can shift it from this arrow. System will shift it. So here August, September, October, November, and just to have a quick verify that all the periods are there. Yes, that is there. Click OK. My fiscal schedule is interval has been add up here 12 items to my fiscal schedules. Okay, so now on this related action button, if I go back again, and then I can create my initial fiscal year, which was not appear up because we have completed our intervals. So system will give the option to create initial fiscal year. So which year of a business that you wanted to start it? So that is 2005. Name is TX Standard 2005, and started of the date would be my 1st of Jan. It can be, if it is from June, then 1st of June that would be started. So you have to be very careful here as well. That date should be accurately identified. That start date would be 1st of Jan. Okay, this is the one part. Secondly,
Sorry to interrupt you. What is that fiscal year 2005 we have mentioned right there? Why did we mention 2005?
business started it from this year, but if you want it, take the previous year data as well, migration data, then you can take 2024, 23, 2000, in which year that you wanted to start it your business.
Okay.
So it depends that how that would be, in which year that business has been commenced. Okay. Here you need to mention the end date of each period. If you know that date, okay, otherwise you can use this calendar. So here you can see that end date automatically be updated. So if I place it here Fab, it will be updated. The last updated date that is Fab. March, April, May. Again, that should be very in a proper way. The end date should be is here, that here 30th May, but it is 31st May. So if you place it here 30th May, system will skip one day here. So you have to be very careful. It will not allow you to update it again. This fiscal time period and the schedule, that should be accurate in a proper way.
Okay, do we need to define this every time, every year? What about for the next year in case?
The first, you need to define it. The onward period system automatically created.
Okay.
Can't we upload the periods here? Is there any functionality that we can upload?
I haven't seen this upload for this point, but I can check.
Because entering these dates is it's a user mistake, right? I mean, it would be a nightmare to correct, right? So it would be better if we have.
Not a nightmare, but the point is, if it would be incorrect and you identify immediately, then yes, that could be you can create a new one. But yes, if you started the transaction and then you identify on that period that you have selected a wrong date, that would be a nightmare.
So, and you said for each year, say for example, next 10 years I want to create. So how do you create that?
Simple that whenever you open up a period, we will do that. You just open up a period, system will automatically create next year period. First time definition is manual. I never checked if this one should be automated or through a bulk load, but I can check and then update. I'm not sure about it. Okay.
Got it. No problems. Thank you.
So here, that is November, because it's 30th coming. Type it here, 31st, 2020. I can then check it. Yes, this one I can also check it. Okay, just to have a quick verify, that is 31st, 28th, 30, 31st, 30th, 30th, 31st. So it looks good now. I can create okay. Now what happened? My first period, TX standard, that has been created now. Okay, so year number, schedule 25. So it will show me here 2025. Here you can see Jam, that would be. Okay, now my calendar is ready. That has been completed now. So under fiscal schedules, we create intervals, we create initial year. There are three steps that we did perform. So that this is my third C that has been completed now. Okay, so any question on this point?
I have a question. So in the process that you are making the periods, right, period end dates, so as someone asked, if there was a user error, do you have to DNU the whole object or do you have to and start all over again? You can't use the fiscal year.
I mentioned already. Again, if you miss something, and now if, for example, I've missed something here, that fiscal schedule, I identify here, view fiscal schedule, that is my TX. So here in this year that identify that this 1 year is missed. So here that system will not allow me to add it. I'm unable to add it any further period here if I missed one. So what I have to do, I need to define a new fiscal schedule. I cannot use it because if I will use it, the incomplete intervals, then obviously it may impact our reporting and impact our further transactions. So if you missed anything, you can correct the date here, but you cannot add the intervals here now because interval options are not there. So you have to define a new fiscal schedule with more vigilant way, or you can say more accuracy that you need to have it here. So that is the point. Okay. So last point is for our today's session. That is the fourth C. That is called convention.
One more question, man. Sorry, it's very short question. If anything mistake in the interval, so can the workday allow us to delete that and create new one, or we have to just say deactive and create a new one? What is the option?
If Workday, for the interval perspective, Workday didn't allow you to add or delete. That is the point. So you have to define new fiscal schedules and new intervals that you need to buy.
Yeah, but if by mistake we are not going to report or anything for the old one, should we have to deactive or something? We know that this is not in use, right? So what is that option for? We can create new one, but
create a new one, but you cannot delete the old one because if the transaction already there, so system will not allow you to delete it. So that is not the mistake. That is, I call normally this is a blunder. If you miss these things, because this is very seems like very minor nature, but impacts are very high. So you have to be very vigilant here. You have to be very careful here to design this first implementation, especially in Workday, to be very careful from all aspects.
Okay. So we cannot like deactive or anything to. I know that's Workday not allow us to delete, but yeah. Okay.
There is no option of activation or deactivation. Option is that it shows you the fiscal schedule that is there. But if it is not linked with your company, obviously you that will not create any impact to your company. What is the link means I will discuss in our, because
Okay. That's
we have defined our charts of account, we have defined our calendar, we have defined our currency. The fourth one is we will discuss the convention. Now these four things are how I can link four C's that I can link with my company, because all the areas are standalone right now.
okay.
Not there is, and how to link those things that we will discuss in our next session. So in next section we will discuss convention and also link with the company. So your assignment is that we have completed our work structure. We almost completed our financial structure and we have completed our business structure. All the three structure that we started our journey on this structure, that almost completed.